Hey guys, this is Dr. Holly here, and this is week 4 of the New Year's Revolution Challenge. So glad everybody is still hanging on. You know, week 4 is a critical week. It's a week where a lot of people start to kind of fall off traditionally. If you've been going to the gym, you may notice that it's not quite as crowded as it was when you first started. But we're doing this differently, so we're going to continue strong. So week 4 is, I think, a really kind of pivotal point for us to keep going and to finish strong. So week 3 was also a very important week, and I hope everybody did the homework. The homework during week 3 was to rewrite your story. We talked about your old story, what you told yourself. We talked about the real story, and we talked about rewriting it and creating a new story. This is absolutely critical because if you keep playing that old story over and over and over again, if you keep using that, if you don't really look at it and decide to change it, guess what? The outcome will be the same. So I really want you to spend the time, think about your old story, and write a new one. It's like writing another chapter so we can make the ending different. So if you didn't take the time to do it, if you didn't think it was worth it, I really urge you to go back and take the time to write a new story. Writing a new story is going to allow us to have a different ending. And that's what we're trying to do. We don't want that typical New Year's resolution ending. We want a New Year's revolution ending. And to do that, you need to rewrite your story, and therefore you can have a new and different ending. So I hope that hits home, and if you hadn't done, you go ahead and you do it, and post your new story. Tell us what your new story is going to be. It's always exciting to see people when they say, this is it. This is how this is going to be different, and I have a new story. This week is week 4, and we're going to move on, and we're going to use that new story, but we're going to keep building to make it even more powerful. This week, we're going to talk about the power of visualizing where you want to be, visualizing your goals, visualizing your New Year's revolution, and what that can do to help with success. Many of you may have done this before or maybe not. Visualization really requires you to kind of sit down to think about how you want to be and feel, how you're going to look, to really be in that moment, to say, how would it feel if I was in that moment right now? Not in the future. It's important that you visualize as if it is right now, and the power that can have in terms of affecting the future outcomes of your challenge. Athletes do this all the time. The great athletes almost always do it. They use a lot of visualization in their training. So it's been used many times for athletes. And when we study things like looking at, let's say, a weightlifter lifting heavy weights, and they look at what part of the brain lights up, then they have that weightlifter just think about lifting those same heavy weights. Guess what? Same part of the brain lights up. It's almost as if the brain doesn't know whether it's really happening or you're imagining it happening. And that's probably part of how this visualization works. So the idea is the more real you can make it and think about it, the brain doesn't know. The brain thinks you absolutely have already done it. So that's part of this visualization that we're going to be doing. So I'm going to give you some homework about how to visualize and some things and some steps you can do, but I want you to take your new story. That's how you're going to get there, and to start visualizing what's it going to feel like, how you're going to look, how are you going to live every single day. Visualize that so that you can see, so we can help get you to ultimately where you need to be. So this is going to make that new story even more powerful. It's really that next step. So I hope everyone takes the time to do their story, and everyone takes their time to do this visualization, and we'll have some homework, and I hope we can all share kind of the output of our homework. Great to see y'all. Everybody's doing great, and I'll see you in a minute with the homework.